And we're live! Hi, my name is Sophia Botha, and welcome to another edition of Botha Rants, the show where we go through all the latest political and LGBTQ news of interest. And once again, I'm joined by Ozma.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. And as we come on air, I've seen reports that somebody's not having a good Friday in Washington D.C. Yes, there's been another mass shooting.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know.
That I somehow missed because there are mass shootings every day here, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're so fucking desensitized to this shit, aren't you? Yes, so someone's having another bad day.
It's another bad Tuesday. I mean, I know that was like the shooting was probably later in the week, but
I just remember the Georgia cop saying, well, about the guy who shot up the massage parlor run by
run by Asian Americans, of some sort,
saying that he was having a bad day,
Oh my god.
Because the natural reaction to having a bad day is to go and kill 8 people, isn't it? Yeah. Well, anyways, I've never got my head around why today is called Good Friday, which we're going to be discussing. But before we get to that, I'm going to have to, because I know that there's going to be, I've had some Christians saying, hey, you said, you were going on about Passover in the week. Well, it's still Passover. It's Passover until Sunday. It's an 8-day festival.
Because we have several day festivals because we know how to party.
Yeah. Now, and I've had this conversation with Jane Fay, who is a practicing Catholic, that she said, you're always critical of Christianity. Yeah, when anyone has a go at Jews, you suddenly, shout anti-Semitism. Right. Let us clear this up. Right. If you want to criticize Judaism, the religion, be my guest. I am an atheist. Right.
There's a lot of problems in various aspects of Judaism. There's a lot of good stuff too.
Yeah. Now, so, being Jewish and Judaism are two separate things. Yes, being Jewish grew out of the religion of Judaism, no doubt about that. I can't deny history. And as it goes with Passover, both me and Oz would take the humanist, elements of Passover, which is about, the Israelites freeing themselves from oppression of the Egyptians, the pharaohs.
Yeah, which I if I recall correctly, is likely not historically accurate.
No, it's not. It's not
real degree.
No, it's not. But the meaning of it, I can agree with. So.
Yeah, it's like parables.
So before I have to say all this before I start criticizing Christianity. I take the humanist elements of Jewish culture. I mean, both me and Ozma, yes, we're atheists, but we're culturally Jewish. Just as Richard Dawkins has said, yes, he's an atheist, but he is culturally Christian. We can't deny the influence of religion, but and I know some people say, oh, you're just cherry picking. Well, yeah. But anyways. Yes, so it's Good Friday because apparently being nailed to a cross, crucifixion, is a good thing.
Look, they're only happy about it because a Jew is nailed to the cross.
Well, first of all, it is as I pointed out here, with the Christian imagery of the Christian the typical Christian depiction of the crucifixion is historically inaccurate in one big fact. Jesus weren't white, right?
Yeah.
you know, you always see these pictures of this white guy with a long beard and a long hair, looking like a hippie. Also, I was told that he wouldn't have he would have been naked, which brings me on to the question: how big was Jesus's schlong? I don't know.
Well, I assume, it was at least the size of Rasputin's.
I know. Some people go, oh God, Sophia, why do you have to go there? Well, because I think it's fucking funny.
Yeah, and like I said, it's only Good Friday because Jesus never renounced Judaism, so a Jew was crucified, and the Christians are celebrating. What a surprise!
So
I'm being snarky, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So I have never got my head round this. Why? Because so apparently, according to Christians, right, this was meant to happen. To which I'm going, right. So let me get this straight. Some non-existent mystical sky daddy sent his own son to be killed.
Yep.
That means God is a bit of a nasty bastard.
Yep.
And essentially, Christianity is based on a death cult. It's based on death. It's a death cult. The fact that they.
But also, it was, Jesus is supposed to be the nicer God.
I mean, look, if you take Jesus's preachings, he was a hippie, and also he was not a conservative. He wasn't an anarcho-capitalist. It was very much socialist. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to point that out.
For the most part, he was very.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with.
Because he obviously supported giving tax to the Romans or whatever, and that sort of shit.
But here's the thing, right? I don't believe he was the son of God because I don't believe in God. Okay.
Yeah.
And I certainly don't believe he rose from the fucking dead. And if Jesus had risen from the dead, it's not Jesus Christ, it's Jesus zombie. Yeah, that's right. If you rise from the fucking dead, you're a zombie. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you can still be a hot zombie.
Yeah.
I mean,
he
looks kind of skinny there. So.
In other words, right? The story of Jesus it should have been a George A. Romero horror zombie flick.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of Christians who are not going to. Oh, why do you have to say all that shit? Hey, look. It's funny how Christians want the right to be nasty. Well, we're talking about fundamentalist Christians here. I mean, certainly I know a lot of good Christians, as in people who really do believe in the teachings of Jesus and being, kind to the, being, love thy neighbour and all that, right? And that I certainly welcome. But unfortunately, there's a lot of fundamentalist, Christians who will babble on about Jesus, but don't seem to get past the book of Leviticus in the Old Testament. They go in for all the fire and fucking brimstone, which Jesus wasn't. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I just don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And of course, sometime this weekend, it's some television channel is bound to show The Passion of the Christ.
Oh yay!
And well, as you can see, here's my opinion of The Passion of the Christ. Have you seen it?
I actually have never seen that movie. I saw the South Park episode making fun of that movie.
Well,
I saw. I think I've seen a review, so I may have seen it in a breakdown, but not actually watched the movie itself.
I mean, so it's essentially a snuff film. I mean, what else do you call a 2-hour film of a man being tortured and put to death?
Well, it's
and it's hideously anti-Semitic as well.
Yeah, and well, I mean, Mel Gibson is
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, oh man, yeah. Avoid, just fucking avoid. Okay, it's not even worth your time. All right. I know some people say, "Well, you watched it." Yeah, I watched it, and I've actually watched it a couple of times. Unfortunately, and
yeah, I'm not doing anything that's gonna get Mel Gibson money. I'm not fucking watching it.
Well, the first time I saw it, I did rent it out from Blockbuster. It shows how long ago I saw it, just to see what the fuss was about. The second time I saw it, I think it was on Channel 4, and
okay.
I was just like stoned, and decided to watch it. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, whatever. If Chris, sorry, I'm lost for words now. Anyways, moving on. Well, it wouldn't be a stream with me and Ozma if we didn't mention Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes, Jewish space laser woman. She's she believes that us Jews have access to a giant space laser.
Yes, which we only use for destroying, setting forests on fire, and definitely not for anything else. Which seems like a really poor use of a giant space laser.
Yeah, why can't we zap Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Look, it's because her speaking the truth is too powerful for lasers to shoot down.
Anyways,
they want you to be required.
So anyways, she's got a few things to say about, one thing to say about the vaccine, which we've heard from the far right already, which is it's Biden's mark of the beast. There's only one problem with that, Marjorie. This vaccine was actually developed under Trump's tenure as president. So,
well, yeah, but don't confuse her with facts.
To have something called a COVID passport, and this would mandate your ability to be able to travel, your ability to be able to go to events, your ability to be able to buy and sell. And I asked the question earlier today, is this something like Biden's mark of the beast? Because that is really disturbing and not good. Oh, if you're going to come into the football game or the baseball game or the concert, you need your vaccine passport because we're trying to do a good job to keep everyone safe. This is what the Biden administration is trying to talk to these private companies into doing. Well, let's analyze that. You see, it's still the same thing. It's still fascism or communism, whatever you want to call it.
I actually, funny enough,
those are two different terms, but
sorry, I actually, I don't think it's the mark. I don't think a vaccine passport's the mark of the beast, but yeah. I don't think they're a good idea. In fact, believe it or not, drum roll. Keir Starmer has come out against vaccine passports because they were floating this idea here. But basically, when the pubs reopen in a couple of it's actually when is it? Week Monday. That so the government were going to tell the pubs that if they were going to serve anyone they served alcohol to had to produce proof that they'd taken the vaccine. I just would love to see Gammon having to produce a vaccine passport to get lagered up down with the local Weatherspoons. That would be hilarious. Yeah, I don't think vaccine passports are a good idea. I think people getting the vaccine is a good idea. I mean, so if people, I mean, maybe in the United States, there are less people taking the vaccine because people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and whoever else go around saying it's the mark of the fucking beast, Alex Jones and but over here, I mean, what's it? 25, 30 million people now have been vaccinated or had the first dose of the vaccine. That's nearly half the population.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of think that, considering that this vaccine gives you 70% immunity, that's relatively high. Sure, there's still 3 in 10 chance that you could get it, and I'm sure that people will still get it, despite getting the vaccine. But there's going to be far fewer people getting it. So
yeah, even if you get the vaccine, you should still be wearing a mask.
Yeah, and I think that's going to, have to stand for some time. But, I kind of feel that I just don't think there is a need for a vaccine passport. And to be honest, I think in the United States it would be unworkable because really the sort of the restrictions on COVID lockdown restrictions differ from state to state. So anyways, she's not the only person who's been opposed to vaccine passports and vaccine. Yes, Lynn Wood. Supposedly it was posted on Parler, but as far as I know, he's banned from Parler. So I don't know where this actually comes from, but this is a statement Lynn Wood put out. Do you want to have a read of it?
Reddit, maybe. Many have asked about my opinion on the fact that President Trump recommends the COVID shot. To be accurate, President Trump also acknowledges that there are other valuable, effective, and safe treatments for COVID.
So
it is a matter of personal choice.
Like drinking bleach and injecting antibiotics into your eyeballs. Please don't fucking do that. Don't do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
I'm not an advocate.
Do you know do you know after that press conference there were actually people who did that and died?
Yeah.
Not many, but there were a few. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, I am not an advocate of the COVID vaccines. I oppose their use. To that extent, I disagree with President Trump. But I remain steadfastly loyal to President Trump and his agenda for our country as President of the United States. My support has never wavered, and I believe he will remain president for the next 4 years. Well, that's wrong. Is this older...
No. We'll get. They think he's going to return to office in August now. QAnon.
Oh, okay.
However, I think this weekend he's going to be the Easter Bunny.
Nah, that involves giving presents to people essentially. So.
Oh yeah, and he's a narcissist, isn't he? So.
Yeah.
Well, he gives presents when he thinks he can get something out of it. It's gone.
Well, yeah. President Trump loves God, America, the Constitution, freedom, the rule of law, putting America first, and making America great again.
Hold on.
I love the same things. By the way,
the rule of law, and the Constitution. No, he didn't give a shit for the Constitution and the fucking rule of law. He only cares about one law, Trump's law. That's it.
Yeah. And also, just to be clear, I am reading this. The opinions are not my own. I don't believe in putting America first always. But anyways, no two people will ever agree on everything, but President Trump and I agree on more things than we disagree. Trump 2020, and if the Constitution changes, Trump 2024 too. Wouldn't 3 consecutive Trump terms be great in order to make America great again?
This does sound like it was written last year.
It does. It really does, because there's a whole thing, and there's an insurrection, and sorry, I've got a cute kitty on my lap. I know the audience can't see it, but it's very distracting. But yes.
This was written last year, obviously. But I was going to say this isn't actually unusual when it comes to Trump supporters. I remember there was a thing in the Huffington Post which about someone. So I think someone from CNN had gone along to some diner in Oklahoma full of Trump supporters and interviewed them would they take the vaccine, and none of them would. And they were all blaming Biden as well. It was, as I said before, the vaccine was developed under when Trump was president. It is Trump's, vaccine. Okay.
Well, he wanted to take all support for the vaccine.
Yeah. Well, he has. He's issued those press releases to say, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have had the vaccine.
Yeah.
Anyways, so.
But it's not anywhere worse than the flu, and vaccines aren't that important for it. But also, vaccines are super important for it, and lots of contradictory statements from.
Conservative Christians have been losing their share about Little Nas X's new Satan shoes.
Yes, I love those.
Yeah. Remember the Jesus shoes that went viral in 2019?
I honestly don't.
I don't either, actually.
But I'm sure to remember this. Satan shoes are way more interesting than Jesus shoes.
Costing 5,000 a pair.
Oh, 3,000.
Sorry. All right, well, look, you read it.
Costing $3,000 a pair, the customized Nike Air Max 97s came with a steel crucifix. Were made of 100% frankincense wool, included 60 cc of quote-unquote holy water from the River Jordan tucked under the sole, and were inscribed with Matthew 14:25, the verse where Jesus supposedly walks on water. Okay, that's really appropriate. It was a stunt released by the Brooklyn-based product design company MSCHF, the company that puts out a lot of random meant-to-go-viral content each month.
So, go on, read on. Hello?
Sorry, that was my... I don't know when it got muted. The cat stepped on the keyboard and managed to step on the mute button, apparently.
Right.
Now he's trying to, I'm going to let the cat out. I'm sorry. You read wherever I left out, because I don't remember. I don't know, actually.
The fact that those shoes happened to have a religious theme wasn't the point. It was just the music. Yeah, it is, actually, but anyone would spend that much on Jesus shoes. Now they're doing something similar. MSCHF recently teamed up with rapper Little Nas X, whose song Old Town Road
which is an amazing song, by the way. I fucking love Old Town Road.
To release Satan shoes. Some Nike same Nike products modified for everyone's amusement, with a drop of human blood, pentagram, and a reference to the Bible verse Luke 10:18 that says, "I saw Satan fall the lightning like lightning from heaven." 666 individually numbered pairs will be sold at $1,018 each.
They were sold out. If I
yeah. We'll get to that. It's all good, harmless fun. So naturally, conservative Christians can't handle it. Yeah.
Yep.
South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who, by the way, this week, with an executive order in South Dakota, banned trans people from participating in sport in that state. Arguably the worst governor in the nation when it comes to handling COVID. Oh, yes, that's the other thing. She refused to shut anywhere down due to COVID. And I think, I keep forgetting, but there was a big biker bash last summer. I think it was in South Dakota. And a lot of people got sick.
Shot.
Anyways, yeah. So she goes, our kids are being told that this kind of product is not only okay, it's exclusive. But do you know what's more exclusive? Their God-given eternal soul. We are to fight for the soul of our nation. We need to fight hard, and we need to fight smart. We have to win. Right, okay, let me just get this grasp on this. So, she believes in souls and Satan, but she doesn't believe COVID-19's real.
Yeah, and she believes our nation has a soul, in fact.
Little Naz couldn't believe this is what she's focused on. You're a whole governor, and you're on here tweeting about some damn shoes. Do your job. Yeah, good point, Lisner. I've actually heard he's quite the troller on Twitter.
Yeah,
and Conservatives don't like him not just for this, but he's openly gay, isn't he? So that's what I've been told. I mean, I don't know this, but I was told he's not. He's more the poppy end of rap. I mean, look, it's I do listen to rap, Public Enemy, Cypress Hill. I'm showing my fucking age here now.
Yeah, but like Old Town Road is a good rap country thing, and he worked with like a famous country artist with Old Town Road, and they went on tour, and like both of them got hate depending on where they were touring.
Yeah, but he's got a fucking point. She's getting her panties in a bind about a pair of fucking shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe she should do something about responding to the COVID-19, pandemic. He's also going off on anyone else blowing a fuse about his harmless footwear. Shoot a child in your mouth while you're. I can't do the
Shoot
accent.
a child in your mouth while I'm riding.
Yeah.
Montero 1808.
What's good? Yeah. So this is a response to what's good with. Go on, you do.
What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul? Matthew 16:28. Gotcha. There's a response or something else. Montero is the rapper's actual first name. That's funny.
You did something right when she. This is Candace Owens. Yeah. So Candace Owens said, "We've turned George Floyd a criminal." Actually, I should explain to the audience if they don't know Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a real deal Auntie Thomasia. Okay.
She's a bitch.
Yeah, she's a black Trump supporter. Okay. We've turned George Floyd, a criminal addict, into an icon. We are promising Satan shoes to wear on your feet. We've got Cardi. Is that 8 or B?
B. We've got Cardi B named as Woman of the Year. She was the wet ass pussy woman, wasn't she?
We've convinced it's white supremacy that's keeping Black America behind. Well, it fucking well is, my darling.
Well, yeah, I mean that's kind of what's been keeping.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason. Reason there's been like dog whistles and all that shit since the 60s after the civil rights movement. They're like, okay, we'll make it like slightly less obvious that we're super fucking racist.
How stupid can we be? And his response is, you did something right when she talks about it.
Yeah.
Nick Young, my kids will never play Old Town again. I'm still debating about wearing Nike after this come from Nike a drop of blood for real. Oh, for fuck's sake, it's not real fucking blood, okay? You know, it's a marketing.
Well, it wouldn't even matter if it was.
Well, actually, I think it'd be illegal.
I'm not sure. Well,
they shouldn't be playing Old Town anyway. We're streaming "Call Me by Your Name" now. I don't know quite what he means by that, but anyways.
Different song, new song. Basically, it shouldn't play the song that he put out. Then they should be listening to the new music that I'm putting out. That's all that is.
Anyways, so some right-wing pastor gave a whole sermon about this, and we'll have a listen to it. But Little Naz's response is, "I'm sampling this."
Yeah.
Little thug, whoever. I had no idea who he was. I didn't even know who Lil Nash X was. Little thug, whoever. I had no idea who he was. We was riding this morning. Hudson said, "Well, you know what made him famous?" Wow. I said, "Well, he said, he was that horses song. Got my horses and whatever that song." I was like, "Man, that song's got a cool beat. I'll never be able to listen to it again." Bunch of devil worshiping, wicked nonsense. Pentagram wearing on your Nike tennis shoes 666. You think I'm gonna stand for that? You've lost your mind. You tell Lil Nash X I said so. Bunch of Satanism, bunch of wickedness, bunch of devilism, bunch of demonism, bunch of psychotic wickedness. I didn't even know who Lil Nash X was.
Fucking hell! I mean,
like, for one thing, I appreciate.
It's so fucking easy to wind these Christian fundamentalists up, isn't it?
Well, for one, naturally, he called Lil Nas X a thug because that's a code word for that's a dog whistle for the N word, which is what he really wanted to say, likely. But damn, this would actually be a really good sample. Like bits of this, like at the start of a song, for him to just like be shitting on Lil Nas X, and then like Lil Nas X drops a beat, and it's just like an Old Town Road has like a dope ass beat. So
as this tweet sort of explains, Madonna like a prayer. I do remember the video for that, and I do remember, the black Jesus and. Yeah, Jesus was black, most probably, or at least.
He's at least a person of color.
Yeah. Madonna like a prayer video, 1989. Yeah, I remember all the controversy. The burning crosses. 30 years later, Little Nas, "Call Me by Your Name." Same type deal. It's a satanic panic, isn't it? I remember the satanic. I mean, we didn't really have it over here, but
Oh, that's lucky.
Well, we had Mary Whitehouse whining about shit on television, but that's a different story for a different time. But the bands like Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne, and later.
Okay, I need to watch that video. Now that's a hilarious image.
Later on with Marilyn Manson, right?
Although Marilyn Manson is the worst as a person.
We know he's a complete and utter dick. But the point is, funny enough, conservatives really shot themselves in the foot with all this back in the 80s, because basically you are trying to prevent young people liking what they want to like. And you want a cultural war over this. And basically, I remember people bring this up, 1992's presidential election. The Republicans really lurched to the right, wanting to basically legislate their religion, or their version of Christianity, shall we say?
Yeah, nothing like what's going on now. Oh, wait.
Yeah. And basically the country rejected it. And basically this is the same deal. They're just it's just the same bullshit. Yeah. And, people like Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne were having a laugh, for fuck's sake. I actually remember, because, that sort of the heavy metal sign is the horns, your little finger and your first finger, right? I remember there were pastors going on about how this was the sign of the devil and everything. For fuck's, So I mean, it is, but who gives a shit? I mean, I don't. Can I just point
It can
out?
also be bunny ears.
Yeah. Can I just point out, right? And because the thing is that everyone seems to, these Christian fundamentalists, they seem to think if you're an atheist, you're actually a Satanist, right? As well as not believing in God, we don't believe in Satan. Duh.
Yeah, well, not as Christianity portrays it. Because I think it's one of those things where it just like means opposition, and it's just like the guy who is disagreeing with God.
Well, no, it's fundamentalist seeing things in black and white. I always remember there was some, when General Pinochet died, I was, the guy was, a despot and killed thousands of people in Chile. And I remember saying, I'm not going to mourn his death. And this libertarian sort of said, oh, I bet you like Castro. Just because I don't like a fascist dictator does not mean I am a fucking communist. Yeah?
Yeah.
But as it goes, I had a soft spot for Castro. I think he did do some actual good stuff for Cuba. But, I can't deny that his human rights record wasn't that great.
Well, yeah, and
when it came to freedom of speech.
Didn't help move things towards democracy, which was a bit of a problem.
Yeah, that he was anti-democratic, and that is an issue. However, if you ask, Cuba has a first-class fucking healthcare system and a first-class education system, or had, under Castro, right?
Yeah.
And those are remarkable achievements, considering that Cuba is a relatively poor nation. So, I can't deny that. But as it comes to democracy and freedom of the press and freedom, of speech and all that stuff, yeah, of course, I disagreed with Castro about that, and
yeah,
I would, because I do believe in those sort of liberal principles. Anyways, we've got off the topic.
Okay, liberal. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, anyways, one person in particular has really lost their shit with Naz. Poop Girl. Yes.
Oh. Yeah, Poop Girl.
So,
I still see you.
Yeah, hold on. We have to go back a bit. Right, so this is actually... I'm trying to find... no, it's not here. Basically, this I think this was the last tweet, but it says, Little Naz basically blocked her. I mean, she's just a troll, she's just an annoying troll, isn't she? It's a week like these. I'm thankful to be blocked by Little Nas X, and he says I can still see your tweets.
Yeah.
Shitty pants. Now, let me. I've been told that this is a racist dog whistle. What she says. Did you?
Yes, it is. So it relates to the assumption that every black person comes from a broken family, and that their parents are always in prison. Now, there is some genuine issue with that, but when it comes to white people generally blurting it out, it's just like, oh, they're basically saying, oh, your daddy's probably a criminal in jail, or didn't ever want to stay with your mom because you're in a black family, and not every black family, is broken. That's not how that works.
So his response to her saying, "Do you still see your daddy?" Is "Yep, and I might fuck yours."
Yeah, he is openly gay, by the way.
Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did say that.
And now
I don't listen to you enough.
And then she claimed that he was threatening to rape her dad. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, that's not. Sex is when it's consensual, and let's be honest. There's something wrong with her dad if he doesn't want to fuck Lil Nas X. That's just facts.
second one. I doubt Caitlin Bennett's ever read a fucking page of the Bible. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I seriously doubt it. Yeah.
No, she probably reads like one of those things where, so there are either versions of the Bible or something. So they just take a bunch of select passages that fit with their thing, and then people just memorize certain passages to preach them out without actually reading the Bible itself.
Oh, right. I'm just checking the chat before we go on.
Yeah.
It's quite lively. So let's just see. I did see someone mention something about how there was records with blood sold in them. HK said that. Yeah, was that Marilyn? No, I don't think it was Marilyn. Was that Alice Cooper by any chance? I'm trying to remember. There might have been some gimmick, or was it Kiss? Possibly. Yeah. Oh, Freya's using her phone and the autocorrect predictive text. Yeah.
I
Fucking racist. Yeah, that's sorry. I'm just reading some of the chat. Yeah. Yeah, and Ozma's stirring things up. Aren't you?
I'm not stirring things up. They were already being stirred up.
Anyways, onwards. So Caitlin Bennett is now claiming that Alex Jones is her father. Well, they're both far right annoying trolls. So
yeah,
I guess she could have inherited that from him. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not.
It does imply.
I mean, she did work.
Cheating.
She did work for a little while for InfoWars. And I remember there was a video on YouTube. It's been taken down now, but basically, she turned up to troll some students at Berkeley, and they were wise to her because she had an InfoWars microphone. So and they basically just blocked her. And it was hilarious, and her trying to get them to talk to her, and they just wouldn't. Yeah, well, Alex Jones probably has his dick in a lot of women. Let's just say that. So
not all consensually.
Well, I don't know about that. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah. What we do know about Alex Jones is he's a domestic abuser. That's a matter of court record now. So, anyways,
yeah, it's just those things tend to go hand in hand. That's why.
Anyways, this
admittedly assumed that allegedly he, not all his sexual contact was consensual.
Anyways, this is Fox News' take on Lil Nas X's Satan shoes, and it's actually the weatherman who calls them out.
And singer Lil Nas X causes uproar over shoes that contain a drop of real human blood. The so-called Satan shoes are to promote his newly released music video. Each shoe features a Bible scripture and upside-down cross. 666 pairs will be available starting tomorrow, with one pair costing more than $1,000. And those are your headlines.
What?
Drop of blood.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that in my shoe.
You know who makes them?
Who?
Nike. That's the Nike shoe
No.
with the sign of Satan on the top, called Satan shoe.
No, Nike don't make them actually.
Yeah, I know.
For the show, so you can't have the Betsy Ross flag.
Yeah.
Come on, you can have Nike-made Satan shoes. It's a real thing.
Will's in disbelief. He's like, I'm
Didn't
being
we talk
punked.
about that?
I feel like I'm missing a piece of information. This
You're not. You're not. Because you know how many of them there are being made? How many of the shoes are being made?
She said 650.
666.
Of course.
Of course.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm not kidding.
It's a little weird.
Look it up.
It's a little odd.
When up is down and down is up, and that's exactly where we are as a culture.
Something's.
Can I just point something out here? They're saying, oh, it's a bit Satanism's a bit odd. Well, Christianity's a bit odd, as I pointed out. It's a fucking death cult, right?
Yeah.
So and also, you know, all this satanic panic bullshit. Wasn't the United States founded on freedom of religion?
It was.
Yeah. And the Church of Satan is actually a recognized church in the United States. It gets tax exemption along with all the other Christian...
Therefore,
along with all the
what
Christian
they're
church.
doing is hate speech.
Yeah.
It's really unbelievable.
Let's ask Adam. Adam, would you buy those shoes just out of curiosity? Maybe someone would like them. I don't know.
Could he say yes now?
I was gonna dodge this. They're not really Nike. They're Nike shoes, but there's a middleman who bought Nike shoes and is turning them into these.
Is that what
really?
It is? Oh, really?
Nike's not making these shoes.
So it's like
I'm positive about that.
But Nike probably could sue them if he wanted for using
there's
their
the
likeness
missing
and
information.
image.
Thank you for that, Adam. So it's like a boutique vendor type thing from Nike shoe or artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, people do this with things like Converse, which is fun enough owned by Nike. I've got custom made pairs of Converse which I've got from a third party. You know, basically.
And all I'm thinking about is now that we're talking about shoes, I'm like, I want Steph Curry shoes.
Yeah, I know other people do it with Doc Martens. You know,
although those are Under Armour, those aren't Nike. Sorry.
Yeah, but as it all goes, Nike have successfully basically gone to court and blocked the sale of these shoes.
Okay.
I guess they didn't think it was doing them. It wasn't good PR. Well, actually, here's the thing, right? It does appeal to those people who are a bit rebellious, who are a bit edgy. You know, the younger people. So I guess Nike probably wants some sort of whole. Well, actually, I don't know. I mean, I remember the Nike adverts from the 90s, and they wanted to be seen as being edgy. I mean, they used to have fucking Iggy and the Stooges tracks on the fucking adverts.
Well, the thing is, they want to try to appeal to everyone now, and so
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
minus people who care about child labor, who aren't going to buy Nike anyway.
Well, yeah, you can't. Here's the thing with that. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I read Naomi Klein's No Logo back in the 90s, which is about the exploitation of sportswear manufacturers in countries like Cambodia and China. But the thing is, it's really hard to get a pair of shoes which aren't made in the Far East.
Yeah.
There are places you can, but you're going to pay a lot more. I think. Oh God, there is one manufacturer who still does make them in the United States. And they are well known, but I forgot what the fucking. I know the logo they have on the side of the shoes is a Z. And Steve Jobs used to wear them.
Gotcha.
I forgot what they were, but I forgot that they are a well-known brand, but I forgot what they're called. But yeah, I have to admit I'm poor, so I have to take like the cheapest the cheapy option, and Converse are the cheapy option. They look good.
Oh, it might actually be Under Armour.
No, I don't think it was.
Okay. But apparently they've made
New Balance. That's it. New Balance. That's what they call it.
Oh, apparently Under Armour has also made a statement explicitly prohibits use of forced labor, child labor, slavery, human trafficking.
All right. Yeah, New Balance. I think that's what they're called.
Under Armour suppliers and their contractors shall not employ persons under the age of 15 or under the age of blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of So apparently Under Armour's also know their shoes, and also Steph Curry is the best basketball player. I'll shut up about basketball now. Okay.
Yeah, I think Nike sort of changed their sort of like the image they wanted to present when they started sponsoring Tiger Woods, and they were trying to get into the whole golf sort of market. So they wanted to appeal to a more conservative type clientele, shall we say. So yeah, I can see why they might want to block this, but hey, it's given them a lot of free publicity, you know. So I don't know. Anyways, yes, My Pillow Man, Martin Lindell. Sorry, Mike Lindell. Why did I just brain fart? Fuck me.
It's
well,
okay.
It is fucking Friday. Anyways,
It's a good Friday, in fact.
not in Washington DC. It's not. Anyways, Mike Lindell. He reckons that Donald Trump is going to be reinstalled president by August.
You said it would take supernatural, another miracle. That miracle is coming. When I say a 9-0 thing at the Supreme Court, even if they deny it, I'm telling you, that election is getting pulled down. When you have 100% proof of an attack by a foreign country, this is an attack on our country, not just it's on all the people. You know, when Democrats were so afraid of the use of these machines as soon as last spring with Amy Klobuchar and others in the movie Kill Chain, you know, they were afraid. They're saying, and you know, our election integrity is gone bye-bye if we have these machines. Well, then just because that's the party that got the benefit from this China attack, what's going to happen is everyone is a Democrat, and they're going to realize by the time we dump all this evidence that, wow, this is an attack by China. This election's going to get pulled down. And I'll say it on your show, I really believe that we will have our president that won 80 million to 66 million in office by August, and that'd be Donald Trump. You said it would take supernatural, another miracle.
For fuck's sake. Look, this is all an act, okay?
Yeah.
This is all an act. Him, Alex Jones, Sidney Powell, they're grifters, okay? And they are basically exploiting some of the most vulnerable people in society.
Yep.
This does not surprise me. Many QAnon followers report having mental health diagnosis. Now, this isn't me trying to shame people for having mental health problems. I've had my fair share of mental health problems myself.
Same.
And I'm not saying that people with mental health problems don't have a legitimate, opinion on stuff, but there are some people whose behavior is detrimental to themselves and detrimental to those around them, and basically they need psychiatric help.
Well, I mean, so it's a whole complicated thing, because most people with various mental health diagnoses are, should effectively be disabled but don't get disability or can't get disability, and are trying their best to live their lives and are easily exploited by people who claim to have solutions for things. And if you're poor and desperate and don't know how to make anything better, it's easy to grab onto that.
QAnon is often viewed as a group associated with conspiracy, terrorism and radical action, such as the January 6th Capitol insurrection. But radical extremism and terror may not be the real concern from this group. QAnon followers, who may number in the millions, appear to believe a baseless and debunked conspiracy theory claiming that a satanic cabal of pedophiles and cannibals controls world governments and the media. They also subscribe to many other outlandish and improbable ideas, such as that the Earth is flat, that the coronavirus is a biological weapon used to gain control over the world's population, that Bill Gates is somehow trying to use coronavirus vaccinations to implant microchips into...
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much what I would expect of people who have, you know, bipolar or schizophrenia. You know, and these people, you know, basically people like Mike Lindell and Sidney Powell and Alex Jones, they exploit these people's illnesses.
Yeah, and they do it for money.
Yeah. And they're just encouraging these people to be, you know, sick, essentially. Yeah, that's you know.
Well, to do things
and if you've ever had to deal
outside of their best interest.
And if you've ever had to deal with someone who's schizophrenic or bipolar, who's in distress, right, who's in crisis, right, you'd understand what I'm saying, that they need help to manage their condition, you know, not encouragement to you know, for their condition to be perpetuated by, you know, by having their minds fed with, you know, QAnon bullshit. Okay. I do remember I had, you know, a friend who was bipolar. He ended up throwing himself in front of a train. Okay, he was my best friend. Okay?
I had a friend who ended up, or sorry, a friend's cousin. I knew him before. He was schizophrenic. I knew him afterwards. After because like this was shortly after high school, I think, or during high school, and it was things were. There's a very clear difference, and it wasn't anything. Like people have this thing where it's just like people with various mental health related stuff are always like, you know, perpetrators of violence and stuff, and that guy was like a nice person, and a lot of these people are just nice people who under certain circumstances pose a risk to themselves. I mean, I know under the right circumstance, I'm sure I know I pose a risk to myself. I have on the autism spectrum, one time I got in an argument heated enough for my legs to drop out or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean,
and my head hitting the floor or whatever. But like, I'm not, because if I get agitated enough, that genuinely happens.
You know, I mean, there was someone else I knew who had a schizophrenic condition, and they died at the age of 52 because they didn't look after themselves. For instance, they were diagnosed with diabetes, insulin-dependent diabetes, and rather than just do what the doctor, you know, advised them to do, which was take insulin, they would eat a pound of chocolate a day. They thought they were curing themselves or something or other, and it was obvious that that was to do with their schizophrenia. They constantly felt that the whole establishment was out to get them. Personally, they literally thought that, you know, the top of the cabinet the cabinet agenda would be, you know, them, right? And you know, this is the kind of thing, you know, and they refused to take their medication. Right, because they thought they were Jonathan Nash. That's the film Beautiful Mind. That Beautiful Mind. The film was based on Jonathan Nash. But they weren't any kind of mathematical genius, I can tell you that. Okay, and it's you know, I just feel that these are the people who need to be cared and loved for, right? Not have their conditions exploited by fucking, you know, far right grifters. Okay.
Yeah, because the person that I knew, he my memory of him was that of like finding the beauty in things that like nobody but him could see, and he described, and it was just like it's not.
Yeah. Someone
I don't know.
mentioned.
I just have the hate is really shouldn't be the case, and there is genuine beauty and kindness in it as well, and it's not just hate and anger, and there's a lot of exploitation and people who will get people to spiral.
Yeah. Someone mentions mental health is too nuanced for right wing to want to understand. Yeah, I mean, my family were like uber conservative, and when I started suffering from clinical depression, they it was always like, pull yourself together, pull your socks up, get a life, not wanting to understand. I always find people on the right are a lot more intolerant to those with problems. Not always. I'm going to say I do have a few conservative friends who are very understanding of mental health. They just basically they just want to deal with it in a way I don't think it's as advisable. But anyway, religion says that mental illness is satanic. One thing,
specifically Christianity.
Well, yeah, I was about to say
Christianity.
You do still find fundamentalist Christians who believe epilepsy means that you're possessed by demons.
Yep.
And I suffer from epilepsy, so yeah. Okay.
So Tucker Carlson, the handbook, the person who helps teach the neo-Nazis how better to propagate their ideology.
Yeah, so Tucker Carlson, who predicts Trump. So Tucker Carlson was agreeing with a guest who predicts Trump supporters could end up openly embracing fascism because of Hunter. What the fuck? I mean, it's true that I do think that the Republicans are becoming ever more. Well, they are. They're already there. For fuck's sake, and they're there thanks to the likes of Tucker Carlson, who's a fucking white supremacist. If you've ever listened to any of his fucking shite. Anyways, let's have a listen to this bullshit.
Tucker, I've said this before, and I'm telling you, I'm worried that I'm right. The right is going to pick a fascist within 10 to 20 years because they're not going to be the only ones on the outs. There's 60, 70 million of us. We're not a tiny minority. And if we're going to be all treated like criminals and all subject to every single law while Antifa Black Lives Matter guys go free and Hunter Biden goes free, then the right's going to take drastic measures. And it's not about...
What the fuck? They are obsessed with Hunter Biden's fucking laptop, aren't they? And possible collusion with whoever in Russia. No, the person who colluded with the fucking Russians is Trump, and he's out of office, thankfully.
Yeah. And also, like...
Oh, no, it wasn't... No, sorry, it wasn't Russians, it was the Ukrainians, wasn't it? With Hunter Biden.
And the reason Black Lives Matter protesters go free is because they're oftentimes not charged with anything because they didn't actually break any laws. So they're forced to not be kept.
Yeah.
They can't be kept for more than 24 hours in a prison cell without a charge.
But believe it or not, he says there's 60... You kind of think, oh, yeah, right, yeah. 60 million of them. Well, there were, 70 million odd people who voted for Trump. Now, I'm not saying every one of those is a fascist, but I hate to say this, there are many who were.
Well, either fascists or fascist sympathizers, because I mean that itself is a problem. It's the people. They're the people who will actually do stuff, and then they're the people who will not do anything about people doing stuff. The sort of people who are like, it's fine that the ICE is giving people rotten food and putting children in cages and giving hysterectomies to women because they're immigrants, so it's fine. That sort of shit is, even if it's not direct fascism, it's fascist. They're fine with fascism. Fascism is fascism and genocide are just lower on the priority of things that they want to stop.
Well, it's said that about 20% of the Republican base is made up by the far right, okay? But they are the loudest. They are the ones now who seem to be in control of the Republican Party. You know? I'm sure there are moderate Republicans out there, but they need to stop being silent. They need to speak out more. Now, Liz Cheney, you know, she's certainly not moderate enough for my liking. I mean, she doesn't support LGBTQ equality, despite the fact that her sister is LGBT, is a lesbian.
Yeah.
But, you know, you need more moderate fucking Republicans. Otherwise, you know, there's enough, you know, though, as I say, 20% of the base is made up of the far right, there are far too many people, as proven by Aria de Meslo, funny enough, our friend Aria, you know, who will go into a voting booth and just vote R. They will vote for whoever's got an R after the name or whoever's got a D after the name, not checking out what, you know, their platform happens to be. Because, you know, my daddy's daddy voted Republican and my daddy voted Republican and I'm going to vote Republican. You know, it's that sort of bullshit, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Or they have this version of the Republican Party, you know, that they seem to think it's small government and low taxes, which the Republican Party aren't actually.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll still, you know, think that the Republican Party are that, when in fact they're way down the fucking spiral towards fucking fascism. And well, there really are some really dumb people in the world. Just have a listen to this.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. Biden probably won't even last 4 years. Anytime you trip walking up the stairs, that's a problem. That looks like a cognitive problem to me. That's right. Okay? So he probably won't make it 4 years. Listen, I wish that the military would step in and take over. Yes. Because we got 3 people that call themselves the most powerful people that's supposed to be in charge. Larry, Carly, and Mo need to go somewhere and sit down, allow the military to take over from here. That's because these people are going to bankrupt this whole country and going to have us living in danger.
What, America's not already bankrupt? They want a military dictatorship.
Yep. But, I mean, you know, the military good when they're killing brown people, not when they're home afterwards, not when... because the United States doesn't give a fuck. Far too few Americans actually give a fuck about, like, disabled veterans and veterans in general. They're just like, oh, yeah, it's fine for them to be put on the sideline. The important thing is the people killing people.
Well, here's the thing. They always want the military to step in to deal with those other people, right? They don't want but the thing is that there's a military dictatorship. They're not going to just deal with those other people. They're just going to deal with anybody they don't like, anybody who challenges their authority. Okay, you know, in the slightest fucking way. Be careful for what you fucking wish for, you know, my darlings. Really, you know. Anyways, the Republicans are now wanting to have trans-inclusive bathrooms to be signposted for the protection of women. This is in Tennessee. Something else in Tennessee we're going to be talking. Tennessee seems to be becoming ever more radically transphobic. Possibly now possibly going on to surpass Arkansas, who I thought, you know, were bad enough of their anti-trans healthcare bill, and the fact that they're going to be possibly bringing in a bill which would allow paramedics not to treat people who are LGBTQ. Yeah, you heard right.
Although Georgia's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, most of the southern states are pretty bad. And I have to say, Georgia should be careful because there's a large LGBTQ population in Atlanta, which brings a lot of business to Atlanta. Okay? Anyways, a Tennessee bill would require businesses to post signs to notify customers if it allows transgender people to use the bathrooms in its facilities. Go on, you can.
You know, sort of like blacks only or whites only.
Yeah. This is full on fucking apartheid bullshit. Okay, this is the new Jim.
Yeah, it's segregation.
Yeah, this is
remastered.
This is the new Jim Crow.
Would require businesses to put up notices saying they let members of either biological sex to have access to public restrooms. Well, generally, most places have men and women's bathrooms, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, most places do allow any biological sex to use the bathrooms, but that's not what they're getting at, I know. The bill requires any public or private entity or business in Tennessee that operates a building or facility open to the general public to post notice at the entrance of each public restroom and the entrance of the building if its policy is to allow a member of either biological sex to use any public restroom within the building or facility. In other words, they put signs to say, no Jews or dogs allowed. Sorry, I meant no trans people or dogs allowed.
Yeah, this really, is getting bad, isn't it? In the southern states.
Yeah.
But it isn't just that. A Tennessee GOP lawmaker's bill would ban school textbooks with any LGBT content.
Yeah, this relates to the GOP
are hold on.
really big fans.
There was another state. There was another state which was wanting to bring this in. I don't know if it was Kansas or Missouri. Well,
yeah. I know what you mean.
There is another state proposing. I think was it? It might have been Iowa or Idaho. I don't. But I do remember I've seen it.
It might be Ohio for Eleanor, because I think Ohio's the one where they only just recently they were like the last state to allow sex change on birth certificates. I want to say that was that Iowa? Fuck.
But I have seen this proposal being made in another state. So this is just following that lead. With Tennessee Republicans having nothing better to do than demonize LGBTQ people, State Representative Bruce Griffey has, or shall we say Grifty, has introduced a bill to purge all public school textbooks of LGBTQ content.
Can I say something about that? Because this is a policy that the GOP has been doing for a while. They did it with evolution. They tried to purge evolution from books. There's a reason the GOP helped make sure any book describing the Civil War down south or whatnot made it about states' rights and downplayed the significant harm of slavery, along with the impact of the importance of slavery to the starting of the Civil War. So GOP have been big on trying to brainwash children by removing certain aspects of reality from textbooks.
Fuck it! Why don't I just go full hog Nazi and have a big book burning, in schoolyards?
Well, I mean, because they realized that doesn't work when they were fans of burning Beatles albums that only made the Beatles more popular. So they realized burning stuff is unpopular. So they just try to remove it from they want to quietly phase it out. They want to quietly phase everything out. It's much more like 1984 and rewriting history. It's weird how the Republicans clearly haven't read 1984, because what they're doing is exactly like some of the shit that the villains of 1984 do.
Yeah. This is fascistic shite. Yeah. Right. So Sean Hannity, him of Fox News, who has a really whiny, stupid voice, basically is trying to make out something about Biden has pre-prepared notes or pre-prepared statements during his press briefings. Now, he's not the only person on the far right to sort of bollock on about this. I saw something on InfoWars about this. And basically what they're trying to make out is that Biden is senile, has dementia, and that basically he needs to be coaxed into what to say by his various, puppet masters, right?
Yeah, everyone uses fucking notes, pictures, and prepared statements.
I would rather that he had pre-prepared notes and doesn't waffle, inanely and asininely like fucking Donald Trump, drink bleach, inject your eyeballs with fucking antibiotics or whatever the fuck else, and all the other shite which Trump used to just waffle on about. I'd rather, a president, had pre-prepared notes and was purposeful in what he fucking says. Oh, jeez. How dare, Biden, be briefed and prepared for what he's going to say. It's as if he's a competent U.S. president.
Well, you see, presidents are supposed to have a perfect memory and be able to read everything perfectly. And I realize no president ever has that I'm aware of has not used notes, picture prepared statements, or teleprompters. But when Biden does it, must be because he's senile.
Well, no, what the far right want is a president who basically blames Mexicans for the ills of the world, or LGBTQ people, too. And then at some press conference when some journalist asks an impertinent fucking question, shouts at them fake news, like Donald Trump. That's what they fucking want. Well, fuck you. You haven't got that at the moment, which is a good thing. Biden is competent. Now, I know that the whole thing about him having fallen down falling up the stairs as it was the other week has got the fucking far right talking about does he have dementia again. And basically, Sean Hannity's making out that Biden, was awfully careful while he was boarding Air Force One, and that that he nearly
almost every president has slipped when going up the stairs quickly to Air Force One, with the exception of Trump, because Trump does it really slowly and carefully. Which honestly is the only way you're not going to risk slipping if you quick traipse up the stairway. I mean,
well,
Obama slipped. Bush slipped.
Yeah. We'll get to this. Anyway, so basically, sorry, I should correct myself. He wasn't being careful. But, he was being very slow and yet still nearly slipped. Maybe that's because it was pissing with fucking rain. Usually when it pisses with rain, stairs can be a bit slippery, Sean, Even for the most able-bodied people. Yeah.
All presidents wear magnetic boots, and that's how they shouldn't slip.
Anyways, yes. This is all because of this, which happened last week. Just because he slips on a fucking stairs does not mean he has fucking dementia, and he's not the first. As Osmo says, he's not the first. Oh shit! Did I do?
Oh shit!
Oh, fucking.
Why the fuck did it double? X out the videos.
It's all right. I can find it again quickly. It's all right. I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that was weird bullshit.
He's not the first president to have fallen down fallen up or fallen down the stairs to Air Force One. Gerald Ford, famously, this is quite a famous piece of footage.
For President Ford, the year seemed full of snags. In June, he fell down the plane steps on arriving in Austria.
Now, that's a fucking fall.
But a whole lot more serious were the two attempts to assassinate.
That's a fall, okay?
Yeah.
And, there was never talk about Ford at the time having dementia. People just accepted he was a bit clumsy. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm pretty sure Obama slipped. I'm pretty sure Bush has slipped.
Didn't Clinton slip and actually injure himself? I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Clinton did as well. They talked about it on the Daily Show. They did a segment about this, and they showed all the presidents, so many presidents just slipping on the stairs. It's just.
Anyways, on to another subject. So Stefan Molyneux, basically, who got banned from YouTube, put something out on his website, whining that he now only has 3% of the audience he had on YouTube. To explain to people who Stefan Molyneux is, he was a libertarian, an anarcho-capitalist, but became a white nationalist, and he was always a misogynistic dick. He is, seriously, he is, and I know people in the libertarian community who can stand him for it. This was a guy who basically sat around Mum's basement all day, intellectually wanking. That's what he did, Him and we're coming onto a clip of Sargon in a minute, but anyways, so Vadim has put out together. He also put out a video. Vadim has basically edited that video of him whining about basically he hasn't got the audience he had.
World deplatforms me. All right, I'm off politics, focusing on Bitcoin. 5% of people followed me to a new platform because my donations have cratered.
Shit, I'm getting things wrong today. I thought it was 3%, but no, if it's 5%. Whatever.
You get.
Put out this. He hasn't got the audience he used to be because deplatforming fucking works.
What you deserve. I'm not impossible to find. I'm not sitting here in a camo gear and a snorkel in the Florida swamps trying to hide from airboats. You're no one to blame but yourself. When I start talking about topics they're not comfortable with, poof, all gone. Right, okay.
No, it wasn't that you were talking about subjects we were uncomfortable about. It's that you're an out-and-out fucking gobshite white supremacist racist.
Well, yeah, and if only 5% of your audience follows, those are likely your dedicated fans. So people don't tend to unsubscribe from people on YouTube. So it was likely only 5% actually cared enough to swap over to another account, and the other people were just casual watchers who are just like, well, if he's not on YouTube anymore, whatever.
I know this. I don't want to sound bitter. I'm not bitter. I'm genuinely not bitter.
The more you say you're not
Sound pretty
bitter,
bitter.
yeah.
I hope that I'm not coming across as bitter, because I'm not.
Yep, you are.
Not bitter. I absorb information. I'm just an information eater. I'm a fact eater. I'm a empiricism and truth eater. This is just facts. I'm a fact muncher. That's what I do.
You're a fact.
Well, he eats facts and shits out lies. So, yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with what he's saying. He does eat facts. He just to try to get rid of them. It's the only way he knows how. And then he shits out various forms of lies, and where the rest of the information goes, well, I don't know where it goes in his body, if his body can process facts at all.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, Stefan Molyneux's he's a bit full of sour grapes. That his audience is tiny compared to what it used to be, and well, I'm so weepy for you, Stefan. Not. Anyways, free speech Sargon. He's not so free speech.
Just for a start, just arrest every single ACAB Facebook group member. Just investigate them. These people who are all like
celebrating.
Celebrating
terrorism is a crime in the UK.
Exactly.
So
all of these people saying we did a great job. Momentum. All of these people that all.
Oh, for those in America who might not know who Momentum is, they're the group who support Jeremy Corbyn. What a fascist bootlicker! This is a guy who complains about being cancelled and there should be absolute free speech. Who wants people who belong to Facebook groups dedicated to politics he doesn't like to be arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a fucking hypocritical fascist bootlicker.
Yeah, it's I want good stuff for me and bad stuff for them.
Yeah. Oh shit. Right. Hang on one moment for me to explain. I'm not having a good day here. Right.
It's okay. You're likely having a better day than my Wednesday was. I almost am like, don't watch Wednesday's episode. I bring up some good points, but I'm like, you can see me start to like climb in anxiety as the episode goes on. And I had a conversation with one of my friends who moderates, because like I wasn't the nicest to her,
negative
because of my anxiety, but yeah.
Right, now remember this,
and I'm trying not to do it again.
I watched the program yesterday, and yes, they had some great press around the wedding, but what press is going to trash someone's special day? There was bad press around the engagement, before the engagement, and everything that has followed since has been incredibly damaging, quite clearly to Meghan's mental health and also to Harry. And I hear Piers say that, William has gone through the same thing. But do you know what? Siblings experience tragedy in their life, and one will be absolutely fine and brush it off, and the other will not be able to deal with it so strongly. And that's clearly what has happened with Prince Harry in this situation. He walked behind his mother's coffin at a tender age in front of the globe. That is going to shape a young boy for the rest of his life. So I think that we need to all take a step back. And I understand that you don't like Meghan Markle. You've made it so clear a number of times on this programme, a number of times. And I understand that you've got a personal relationship with Meghan Markle, or had one, and she cut you off. She's entitled to cut you off if she wants to. Has she said anything about you since she cut you off? I don't think she has, but yet you continue to trash her.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
So, do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not mine.
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
Yeah, Alex Beresford, who's the weather guy on Good Morning Britain.
Okay, is it just like the weather people are the smart, cool people? Is that what's going on here? Because like you've shown two different news places where the weather people are clearly the most qualified people when it comes to presenting news.
Right. So essentially, he triggered Piers Morgan to act like a complete snowflake and storm off Good Morning Britain, right? And of course, Piers Morgan was sacked. I know that ITV issued that, that statement saying we've come to ITV and Piers Morgan have come to accept the parting of the waves. No, he was fucking sacked. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, I do remember when he said that, right? And I could hear the round of applause, from all over. Basically, someone had to basically call Piers Morgan out for being an absolute bastard towards Meghan Markle, right? And how much Piers Morgan might deny it, it is basically white supremacy. Okay. Anyways, since then, he's been subjected to relentless racism on social media. Why aren't I fucking surprised? Why the fuck am I not surprised? And yet, and this week, of course, we had that, fucking report commissioned by the Tory government on institutional racism, which was headed up by somebody who denies that there's such a thing as institutional racism, and concluded that there is no institutional racism when there's a fuck ton of fucking evidence that there is institutional fucking racism.
Yeah.
Talking of which, so basically, in the aftermath of this report being published, saying there isn't such a thing as institutional racism, this is one of the guys who was supposedly consulted in the compiling of this report, actually said that he wasn't actually contacted. This black historian, he was meant to be cited in the report, but he actually wasn't actually consulted.
Gotcha.
So basically, this report was making shit up as they went along.
Well, they're saying there's no institutional racism. Don't mind the fact that we refuse to talk to black people about institutional racism. We're not trying to avoid this subject to any degree, but there's definitely no problem here with a bunch of white men not talking to anyone black about institutional racism.
Yeah. Someone agreed with you in the chat about Weatherman. Seems to be the ones who speak most sense. Unless you're Michael Fish and you can't predict a fucking hurricane. Yes, I'm old enough to remember that one. No, you won't.
I mean, fair. You say weather person in Minnesota's, but
no, I was going to tell you that. I was going to tell you this story. So back in 1987, right, there was actually a hurricane which hit Britain. Okay, and it did quite a lot of damage, right? And I remember this. We all remember it very well for those who are old enough, right? And basically, the night before, Michael Fish did this weather forecast, and he famously said some woman had rung the Met Office to say that she predicted there was a hurricane on the way, and he basically said, no, there isn't. Yeah, it's a famous piece of television. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. See if I can find it. Bit of a laugh, you know. Yeah, here we are. Weather forecast 1987.
Good afternoon to you. Earlier on today, apparently a woman rang the BBC and said she heard that there was a hurricane on the way. Well, if you're watching, don't worry, there isn't. But having said that, actually...
See, I told you. I do remember these things. And there fucking was. Yeah. Anyways, enough of all that. Right. Well, we've come to another end of... and then... We've come to an end of... I'm not having a good night, am I?
Look, we've come to an end of a wonderful season of Sophia Botha. That'll be continued next week as well. It's not really an end to the season. I don't know why I said it was into the season, but
we've come to the end
I'm trying to help, and I'm doing a poor job, which probably isn't helping.
We've come to the end of another edition of Botha Rants.
Edition is a better word.
Yes. If you like this video, then give it a like. If you like what if you
do
like
it now.
Yes. If you like what I have to say, then fucking hell. Yeah. If you want to support what I have to say, then please share this fucking video.
Share the video, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Mention any news stories you feel that Sophia missed, maybe. And you can maybe have a chat about that. I don't know. I know comments are good for algorithm stuff. Even it's fine if you dislike, since that also helps Sophia. But generally likes are nicer, and Sophia produces good content, so likes are a good thing.
Yes. Sorry, I haven't had much sleep.
Well, it's fine. You have me, and I am more awake, partially because of time zone stuff, and partially because I just drank a Monster energy drink recently, and there is the caffeinated Ozma, who apparently is not completely in the dark because of caffeine or whatever is in Monster energy drinks.
Right. Anyways, have yourselves a really good Easter weekend.
Can I support myself?
Oh, bollocks, yes, sorry. Sure.
It's fine. No, I totally understand. I get it. I'm not that important. And no, I'm just kidding. You can find me Ozma in the Dark just about anywhere. OzmaInTheDark.com. I updated the site, so it'll always show the most recent episode of The Fluid Voice on top, instead of just what I thought was like a good episode, because I changed the playlist stuff for whatever. I messed with things. OzmaInTheDark.com. You can find me, Ozma in the Dark, on YouTube. The Fluid Voice mostly, since that's where most of the comment I do recently shows up, and we talk with guests about of a variety of subjects to try to get a understanding of the world and people's issues, and maybe help share what people are actually going through. And it's not always depressing. We had an episode on Godzilla once.
Yeah. Okay, well, whatever you get up to this Easter weekend, I hope you have fun. We will be back on Monday. Hopefully I will have some fucking sleep by then, because this is why I'm having so many brain farts.
Yeah.
Severe lack of sleep due to having an infection in my leg, which I don't seem to be able to shake.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm due to see the doctor on Tuesday about it. So.
Okay, so I will be here on Wednesday, and even if you haven't fully recovered from the from the sickness, because you're down with the sickness. Sorry, I don't know why I'm referencing Static X. That's no, that's not Static X. That's fuck.
Well, whatever.
My brain can't brand. So apparently, I didn't have like the best sleep either. I'm just full of caffeine.
Yeah.
But I'll be here on Monday as well, as usual.
Yes, and so whatever you get up to this Easter weekend, have a good Easter weekend. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and peace out.
Bye.